Coming up on The Race, it's a game of catch-up on both sides. Donald Trump erasing the president's money lead. President Biden erasing Trump's polling lead. Right now, the race, a dead heat. It's Democrat versus Democrat in the most expensive House primary in the country.
We've got to move away from performance art and move toward performance.
Can this moderate take on this liberal and the whole squad he's part of? All that and more starts now on The Race.
Plus, the hush money trial may be over, but the gag order against Trump is not. And after nearly 60 death threats, Manhattan prosecutors now asking a judge to keep it that way. And if a person poses a threat to another, should they be denied access to a firearm? Today, the Supreme Court made its decision on that very question. America on the Docket starts right now.
Looking at Patty Jowett, you wouldn't think she'd suffered a stroke.
My leg wasn't fully functional, and I knew my arm wasn't either in my hand.
First came this special cycle and these robotic shoes. Along with the patches on Patty's legs, they send little electrical jolts to her muscles. It helps with a common stroke symptom called foot drop, when a patient struggles to lift their feet. Then there's a powered ankle foot compression boot. It aids the joint so a person can get back to the same pace and balance that they had before their stroke. For Patty Jowett, it means more stamina for what lies ahead.
I insist on pronouncing today, your life is worth it.
Sheila Jackson Lee was a champion for change. Passionate and dedicated, she was a fierce advocate of equal justice for women, minorities, and the LGBTQ community. The White House released a statement Saturday calling Jackson Lee, quote, a towering figure in our politics. Always fearless, she spoke truth to power and represented the power of the people of her district in Houston with dignity and grace. Jackson Lee announced last month she had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, saying, quote, the road ahead will not be easy, and by God's grace, I will be back at full strength soon. Powerful storm swept through the central U.S. Saturday. This tornado spotted in Cook County, Texas. Left behind widespread destruction, homes completely obliterated as far as the eye can see. All that's left of this man's home is a pile of rubble.
You can see the remnants of the fireplace. That area was the living room.
He says he, his wife, and some friends hunkered down in a bathroom as the tornado blew through.
After tearing through Florida and parts of southern Georgia, Hurricane Helene continued into North Carolina and Tennessee, where it brought massive flooding, mudslides, and put millions in the dark.
As tides smash into homes along the coast, shattering the previous record set in 1978, washing away historic fishing shacks.
Now the UN says food aid in southern Gaza is drying up, and the 4 bakeries still operating will be out of stock Monday. Egypt is refusing to work with Israel to transport humanitarian aid into Gaza, blaming the escalation in the south. Meantime, in the north, Israel is again bombarding targets where it says Hamas militants are regrouping.
Nowhere in Gaza is safe, and these humanitarian zones, these safe zones that Israel keeps talking about, they do not exist.
The Dream Exchange will be the 8th licensed stock exchange in the country. It will function just like the New York Stock Exchange does, where you can buy stock in companies that have gone public, but the companies on the Dream Exchange will be much smaller. The point? To make the stock market accessible to more people and to give smaller companies the benefits and wealth from becoming a publicly traded company. The U.S. Treasury Department task force found just 0.2% of companies on the New York Stock Exchange are minority owned. And economic parity can come when a company is listed on a stock exchange. The Treasury Department task force found 92% of jobs within a company are created when a company goes public.